To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.
Right, children, we are going to start the second chapter of this lesson. So you remember what we learned in the first chapter. We learned about different types of nutrients and their functions too. So in this chapter, we are going to learn how to identify different nutrients experimentally. Right? Test to identify food. So there are different types of nutrients. By using different type of test, we can identify specifically carbohydrates, proteins and lipids. Okay? Right. So this activity, first activity is identifying glucose. So glucose test. This is known as simple sugar test or reducing sugar test as well. So what are the things we need to do this test, children? We need a test tube and we need a glucose solution. Okay, how to prepare a glucose solution? We can dissolve some glucose in water and we can prepare the solution very easily. And then we need the special solution called Benedict solution. It is a blue color solution, right? We need the Benedict solution and we need a water bath, because after preparing the solution and adding this Benedict solution, we need to heat this test tube in a water bath, right? Let's write. Test tube. A test tube. Sugar solution or glucose solution. A glucose solution. Benedict solution. Benedict solution. And a water bath. Water bath. So in the lab, we prepare the water bath, which means to a beaker, we get some water and we heat it up, right? Okay. Now the method. So this is very easy. What you have to do is add 2 milliliters of glucose solution to the test tube and then add 2 milliliters of Benedict solution, right? Add 2 milliliters. So step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1, add 2 milliliters of glucose solution to the test tube and then add 2 milliliters of Benedict solution, which means you have to add similar amounts of Benedict solution and glucose solution that you prepared. And boil it in the water bath. You have to place it inside the water bath and then you have to observe what happens. Observe the color change. You are going to observe a series of color change here, children. Let's do this activity. Right, children. In this test, we are going to identify simple sugar present in food. So, we are going to use glucose in this experiment, okay? So, in order to do this activity, I need to heat the mixture in a water bath. So, here I have a beak of water. Therefore, I will turn this on. So, meanwhile, we are doing this activity. This will get heated up. Right, children. So, in order to do this activity, as I explained you all before, what do you have to do? So, using this glucose, look at this glucose, it's a white color powder. Okay. So, you need to prepare a glucose solution. How to prepare a glucose solution? I'm going to take about 2 milliliters of water into this boiling tube and I'm going to dissolve some glucose in this water and thereby I can prepare a glucose solution. Okay. Right. And then I'm going to dissolve some glucose in this water. Right. So look at this, children. Now we have the glucose solution and it is colorless. Now I need to add about 2 milliliters of Benedict solution. Now this Benedict solution is blue color. You cannot see because it's inside the dark bottle. But when I put this Benedict solution to this boiling tube, you will see the color. Okay. So similar amount of Benedict solution. Right. So look at the color, children. Now Benedict solution is blue color. When Benedict solution is added to the glucose solution, the colorless glucose solution, the entire solution gets blue color. Now I need to heat this boiling tube inside this water beaker, hot water beaker. Okay, so we call it a water bath. Okay, and then observe very carefully, you will see a series of color change. Okay, so blue color will change into another color. Likewise, after a series of color change, it will come to a constant color. So observe very carefully. Okay, right. So we'll immerse this boiling tube in this hot water bath and observe the color change. Okay, as this solution inside the boiling tube gets heated up, it changes the color. Okay. So at the moment it is bright blue color. Right, children, observe very carefully. Now this blue color changes, slightly changes to green color. Okay, if you observe carefully, you will realize the blue color is changing to green color now. Okay, right. So now the solution is green color. Okay. Now observe carefully. Observe further. Now next it will change to yellow color. Now it is changing to yellow color, children. Blue to green. Now green to yellow. Right. Look at this one. Now it is yellow color. Right, children. Now again observe. When more heat is provided, what happens, children? Now slightly it is changing to orange color, okay? So I can see from here. See, dark orange in color. And then it will turn into red. Right? Blue to green, green to yellow, yellow to orange, orange to red. This red is known as brick red color. Okay. It's not a bright red color. It is a kind of the color of bricks. Okay. Therefore, it is known as brick red color. Right, children. So this is the brick red color solution. It will get the real brick red color if we let it aside. Okay. I'm going to leave it aside like this to settle. Right, children. Now you all can see the real brick red color. Okay, you all can see the color. This is brick red color, not very bright red, but the color of bricks. Therefore, this is known as brick red color. So what was the initial color of the solution? It was bright blue color. Okay, and then when we heated, it turned into green, then to yellow, then to orange, and then finally to the brick red color. So this is a brick red color precipitate. Precipitate means this is not a clear solution. It's a kind of mixed with the solid part as well. Okay, this is not a clear solution. This is known as a precipitate. Okay, so here finally a brick red color precipitate is formed. Remember, children, this type of like series of color change from blue to green, green to yellow, yellow to orange, and orange to brick red. This exact series of color change is given only by the simple sugars. Therefore, this test can be used to easily identify simple sugar. Right, children. So you all observe that experiment. So I hope it's very clear, right? So when we added equal amounts of Benedict solution and glucose solution, and then we heated it up. Then what happened, children? You all observed. So soon after we add the Benedict solution to the our glucose solution, what was the color, children? It was blue color. It was bright blue in color. And at the same time, when we were heating it up, you all observed how gradually the color changes take place. Okay. So first of all, blue color turned into green color into yellow color, yellow into orange color, and finally orange color into brick red color. Okay, children. So this type of color change is only given by glucose, so simple sugar. Therefore, this test can be easily used to identify simple sugar present in food. Okay. So here, this is the color change. Okay. We will write down here a series of color change. Series of color change takes place. Series of color change takes place as below. Right? Blue, blue color changes to green. Then green changes to yellow. Right. Yellow changes to orange. And finally orange to brick red. Brick red. Right. So initial color of the solution was blue color. Blue color changed to green color as we heat, right? When we heated this up, what happens? Blue changes to green, green change to yellow, yellow change to orange, and orange change to brick red color. So finally, brick red color precipitate was observed. Okay, children? So this only takes place with simple sugar or glucose present in food. Therefore, you can easily identify this Benedict's test to test for glucose. Okay, children? We'll move on to the next. So our second test is starch test. Right? Now we learned that when we consider carbohydrates, there are two forms of carbohydrates, sugar and starch. Now we did the sugar test. Now we are going to learn about the starch test. This is the other form of carbohydrates. Okay, children? So what are the materials we need? We need a starch solution. So there I am going to dissolve some flour in water. Right? Therefore, I am going to use a flour solution here. And then we need a solution called iodine solution. It is a brown color solution. Okay. So we will write this. We need a flour solution. Flour solution. And iodine solution. Iodine solution. Right? Flour solution is made by dissolving some flour in water. Right? Okay. So method. Boil some flour in water and prepare a solution. Okay. And then add 2 drops of. Right. So we will write it as step 1 and step 2. Right. Step 1. Step 2. Right. Step 1. Boil some flour in water and prepare a solution. Step 2. Add drops of iodine solution to the flour solution. Just 2 drops is enough. Right, children? And you have to observe what happens to the color of the flour solution. Let's do this activity now. Right, children? So we are going to do the starch test. This test is done to identify starch present in food. Now you all know that carbohydrate comes in 2 forms, starch and sugar. So starch is also a type of carbohydrates. So in the earlier experiment, we did the activity, we did the test to identify simple sugars present in food. Now this is for the starch, okay? So here, as starch, I am going to use wheat flour here. Now I have to make a solution of wheat flour by adding some wheat flour into hot water, boiling water, so that wheat flour will dissolve well in water. So in that case, I am going to take some water to this boiling tube. Right. I'm going to light the spirit lamp. And we need to heat this up. Boil some flour in water. So now it's getting heated up. We'll heat it a little longer. Right, it's starting to boil now, therefore, now it is hot enough. Right, children. So here I have hot water. Now I need to prepare the starch solution using this hot water, okay? Right. So I'm going to add a little amount of flour to this one. Right, children. So look at this. This is the starch solution we made with flour and water. Okay, now this is not clear. It's a bit turbid. Now how to identify whether starch is present in this solution? So here we are going to use, in order to identify starch is present experimentally, we need to use another solution. Here in the lab we are using iodine solution. Look at the color of the iodine solution. Right, it is yellowish brown in color. If you look through the wall of the test tube, you can see there's a slight yellow color as well, right? But it's brown, so yellowish brown in color. So I'm going to add a few drops of this iodine solution to the starch solution. Right, children. So the solution turns into a very dark bluish purple in color. So when you look at it like this, it looks like a black solution. So I will take a drop of this solution onto this tile and show you, okay? Right. Look at the color, children. It's a mixture of dark blue and purple color, right? You can't say it's blue or purple either way. It's a very dark bluish purple color. Okay, children. So this color change takes place when iodine is added to a certain food solution. Only if starch presents, this color change will take place. Okay, the brown color solution will turn into this dark bluish purple in color only if starch is present. Therefore, this activity can be used to identify starch present in food. Right here. So you all observe that experiment as well. There, what happened to the starch solution or to the flour solution, I added a few drops of iodine solution. Iodine was initially a brown in color one, right? It was brown in color, and soon after we added it to this flour solution, what happened, children? The entire solution turns dark purple color, right? Purple blue color, right, children? So here iodine mixed flour solution, very dark purple blue color. Okay, so the solution turns. What is the observation? The solution turns dark purple blue color. Purple blue color. Right? Even this change takes place only in the presence of starch. Okay, therefore this test can be used to identify starch present in food. Okay, children, so when we add a few drops of iodine solution to a starch dilution, only with starch this type of color change takes place. Okay, so the solution turns dark purple blue color. Therefore, this can be used to identify the starch present in food. Right, children? We'll move on to the next. Right. The next activity is to identify protein. Okay, protein test. So, this is known as Biuret test as well. Right, protein test or Biuret test. So, what do we need? We need protein contained food. So, we are going to use an egg white here. We need an egg white. We need water. We need a test tube. And then we need sodium hydroxide solution. It is colorless. And then we need a copper sulfate, a little bit of copper sulfate solution. It's blue in color. Let's write this. We need egg white, water, test tube, sodium hydroxide solution, and copper sulfate solution. Right, children? Egg white, water, the test tube, sodium hydroxide solution and copper sulfate solution, right? So how to do this activity? So the method is make a mixture by dissolving egg white in water. You have to take a little amount of egg white to the test tube and then you have to mix it with a bit of water and you have to prepare a solution. Then put 2 milliliters of it into a test tube and then add 2 milliliters of sodium hydroxide. Okay, so this is how you do that activity. Right. So to a test tube with this egg white solution. Right. To a test tube with egg white solution, you consider this is egg white. Right. If this is egg white solution, because you prepare it by mixing egg white in water. Egg white solution. Then you have to add similar amount. If this is 2 milliliters, sodium hydroxide added also should be 2 milliliters, right? 2 milliliters of sodium hydroxide. Right? Then you have to mix them together well. And then what you have to do is you have to add here. Add 2 milliliters of sodium hydroxide solution first and then add a few drops of copper sulfate. Right? Similar amount of sodium hydroxide as of the solution. Right? And then to that mixture you have to add a few drops of copper sulfate solution. Right? Add a few drops of copper sulfate. Right? And a few drops of copper sulfate solution. And then you have to observe the color change. Let's do this activity now. Right, children? Now I will show you how to identify protein present in food. Okay? So here, as the protein food item, I have a egg white here. So I need to make a solution with this egg white. So I am going to take some of this egg white into this test tube. And I am going to dissolve it in water and make a solution. Now I'm going to take some of these solutions, about 2 milliliters, into this other test tube. Right. Now we need to put similar amount of sodium hydroxide solution into this protein solution. So look at this sodium hydroxide solution, it is colorless, okay? Right. So after mixing, so what is the color? Again, a pale yellow color is there, the color of the egg white, okay? Now I am going to put a few drops of copper sulfate solution. So you have seen copper sulfate solution before. This is copper sulfate solution. It is bright blue in color, okay? I am going to take a few drops of this copper sulfate solution. So I will add 2 drops to the solution. Look at the color change. It turns purple color. Right. Look at the color, children. It turns beautiful purple color. So it turns purple in color. So what did we add again? We prepared a solution of egg white. So we added some egg white to this test tube and we added some water and then we prepared a solution of egg white. Okay, that is our protein solution. And then we have to take about 2 milliliters of this egg white solution or protein solution and a similar amount of sodium hydroxide. This colorless solution should be added to that protein solution. And after that, you have to add 2 drops of blue color copper sulfate solution. And when you mix it well, you will see that solution turns purple in color. So the only substance, the only nutrients that gives this color change is proteins, right? No any other food nutrient will give this color change. Therefore, this test can be used to identify proteins present in food. Right, children. So you all observed what happened there. So what did we do again? We prepared an egg white solution and then to a similar amount of egg white solution, we added sodium hydroxide, the same solution. And then after mixing it, we added a few drops of copper sulfate solution. What happened? The solution turns purple color like this, right? So this observation also is only possible with proteins. Okay, if only proteins present in the food solution, we can identify on this color change takes place. Therefore, this test also is helpful to identify proteins. Okay, so the other nutrients will not give the same color change. Therefore, this purple color obtains only with proteins, right? So we will write down the observation. The solution turns purple color. Solution turns purple color. This is the color. Right, children? So this is possible only with in the presence of proteins. Therefore, this bio-red test can be used to identify proteins present in food. Okay, we'll move on to the next. So the lipid test. So when we consider about this lipid test, we are going to do this one of these activities. But remember, in the upper grades, you are going to learn about another activity as well. I will explain you all later, right? So you need a food with lipid, food item with lipid, okay? And then you need a white color paper, okay? We will write a food item with lipids. So I'm going to use a fried egg, okay? And then a white color paper, white paper. Right, children? A food item with lipids and a white paper. Easy to do this activity. We don't have to add any other chemical substance here, right? Method is rub some lipids of food on a piece of paper. You have to nicely take that food containing lipids and you have to rub it on the white color paper and observe what happens to the paper. Let's do this activity. Right, children? So we are going to do this activity to identify lipid present in food. So this test is very easy. You all can do even at home. Okay, children? So what do we need to do this activity? We need lipid containing food. I'm going to use a piece of fried egg. So when you fry egg, you have to add some oil. Oil is coming under lipids, okay? And we need a white color paper. So what do you have to do is, you have to rub this oil containing or lipid containing food on a white color paper and then we will observe. You have to check whether you will get a translucent oil patch. So when you rub this food on the paper like this, so you must have experienced this when you buy sometimes those different types of finger food, when you place them on paper, sometimes you must have seen an oil patch is formed. Okay, right. So I press this food in between this paper, white color paper. Look what you can see here. You can see an oil patch and it is translucent. Right? It is not opaque anymore. The white color paper is an opaque object, but now where the oil is contacted has become translucent. Right? So oil can make this difference on this white color paper. Therefore, we can use this activity to identify whether oil or lipids present in a certain food item. Right, children? So we observe this, a translucent oil patch on the paper. When we rub a piece of paper on the food item, what happens, children? That paper absorbs the oil present in food, the lipids present in food, and therefore that part where the lipids absorbed by the paper, that area becomes translucent. This is known as a translucent oil patch. Okay, children? So you must have seen sometimes certain food items when they are wrapped on pieces of papers, you must have seen after a little while when you check, these type of translucent oil patch can be seen. Okay? We will write down observation, a translucent oil patch is seen on the white paper, due to the presence of lipids. A translucent oil patch is seen on the white paper due to the presence of lipids. Okay, children? So in this grade, to identify lipids, this is the activity we are going to do. But in the upper grades, we are going to do another activity called Sudan 3 test. Right? So there's a solution called Sudan 3 solution. So you have to prepare a food extract, right? A food solution with lipids, right? And then you have to add a few drops of this Sudan solution. It's a red color solution. Right, children? It is a red color solution. When you add this solution to the lipid containing food solution, and you have to mix it well. And then you will observe that this Sudan 3 will not properly dissolve in this liquid. It will turn into red color globules. Okay, tiny globules will form in red color. Okay, so this proves that lipids present in the food sample. So this test is known as Sudan 3 test. Okay, children, you are not going to learn it in this grade, but in the upper grades, you are going to learn that too. Right, children? We'll move on to the next activity. Collect different types of food items and test for each nutrient. Tabulate your observation. Now, in the school laboratory, you can do this as a group activity. Right? As a group, you can bring different food items and then you can make solutions out of each food item and you can do those tests that we have discussed before. And thereby you can understand what type of nutrients present in each food item. Okay, children, collect different types of food items and the test for each nutrient and tabulate your observations. So, tabulate means you have to include them in a table. So, you can do it as a group activity. Okay. So, you can simply do it like that, like this. Right. So, food item and then test done. You can do different food tests that we have learned so far and then observation. And using the observation, you can decide what type of nutrients present. Right, food item. You can bring different types of food items. You can ask the group members to bring different types of food items and make solutions out of those food items and run those tests that we have done so far. Right, and then according to the observation, you can identify what type of nutrients present in each food item. Right, children, we'll move on to the next. Right. So our last topic of the lesson, balanced diet. Okay, the balanced diet. We'll go through this. The following descriptions are about the food patterns of 3 children as the description. Okay, so about 3 children. Student A. I always eat food which are shown on TV. They are very tasty. My mother prepares them for me always because they are easy to be cooked. Right, this must be talking about instant food. I hate taking foods like kolakanda and different types of leaves, pala. So kolakanda is made with green leaves. Right? Okay. We have our dinner from outside probably 2 or 3 days per week. My father brings food for us from outside. I feel sleepy after having those food. That is student A. First, we will go through them. Student B. My mother prepares a glass of fresh milk for me early morning, and all my food are homemade foods. Mostly my diet contains of rice, fish, vegetables and fruits. Some days I take cereals like cowpea, gram or green gram. Kolamalluma or salad is a frequent essential item in my diet. Kolakanda is compulsory on holidays. I rarely take instant foods. I am clever both in study as well as extracurricular activities. Student C. I normally don't eat anything after breakfast until the interval. During the interval, I eat from my friends and drink cool drinks out of money given to me from home. I feel sleepy when eating rice. Therefore, I eat bread or buns for my lunch. I feel very tired after returning home. I eat a little bit of rice as my mother forces me to eat. I feel sleepy. Right? So, when you consider these 3 children, I am sure some of you all are like student A. Right? Like to always eat from outside. Right? Don't like to eat homemade food. Some of you all must be like student B. Right? Always stick to homemade food, healthy food. Right? Student C, some of you are like him too. Right? When your parents give you all pocket money, you buy some unnecessary food items out of it. Right? Let's see what we have to do. Activity. Form groups and present your ideas regarding diet patterns of above 3 children. Right? So when we consider the first child, I always eat food which are shown on TV. They are very tasty. And mother also prepares them because she can easily cook them. So this must be talking about instant food. So when we consider instant food, even though they can be prepared very easily, most of the time they contain a lot of artificial substances too, like instant noodles, right? They contain a lot of artificial flavors as well. Right, children? So at the same time, you cannot obtain the correct amounts of nutrients from these type of food items. They have a certain amount of nutrients, but that is not enough, right? And at the same time, most of the time when you buy different food items, let's say here it says, we have our dinner from outside probably 2 or 3 days. So when you consider the food you buy from outside, most of the time they have a high amount of sugar, salt, oil as well, and artificial flavors and colors as well. None of these things in excess amounts is not good for your health, children, right? When you eat a lot of sweet food, a lot of oily food, salty food, right? It will cause different non-communicable diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attacks likewise, right? So from now itself, you should avoid these type of foods, right? So you should not always eat these type of food items. Okay, let's discuss about student B. My mother prepares a glass of fresh milk for me early morning. Now we all know how important taking these type of food items is. Now we know that fresh milk contains proteins, minerals, vitamins as well, right? And all my food are homemade food. The importance of homemade food is, children, we know that we don't add artificial substances, right? We know that our food is always clean because they are always homemade. Okay, children? Mostly my diet contains rice, fish, vegetables and fruits, all healthy items, right? Some days I take cereals like cowpea, gram or green gram, right? They are also very healthy because they have a lot of carbohydrates and protein. So very important for your growth and also to obtain energy, right? Kolamalluma or salad is frequent. Kolamalluma, which means green leaf mallow, right? It contains a large amount of vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals help to maintain your body healthily, right? To avoid different diseases. Coelacanth. Coelacanth is compulsory. Coelacanth also made with green leaves. Again, it is rich in vitamins and minerals, right? So I am very clever both in study as well as extracurricular activities, right? So to improve memory power, you have to have a lot of iron, right? So all these food items contain high amounts of iron, right? And at the same time, in order to engage in extracurricular activities like sports, you have to have a lot of energy in your body. Look at these foods taken by this child, right? A lot of energy given food is given here, right, children? So when you consider this child, coelacanth and different, right? I hate taking foods like coelacanth and different types of leaves, pala. So he does not like to take them, means he does not get the enough amounts of vitamins and minerals, which means his immune system is not strong. So he will get a lot of diseases. Okay, look at student C. I normally don't eat anything after breakfast until the interval. During the interval, I eat from my friends, which means like you don't get the right amount of food when you eat from your friends. You have to have your own food. Okay, so interval. I eat from my friends and drink cool drinks. Cool drinks means those soft drinks. Actually, that is a type of junk food. Junk food means food without any correct amounts of nutrients. Nothing good in it. Junk. Okay. So, soft drinks contain a lot of carbon dioxide and too much of sugar. Right? Nothing other than that, children. Okay. Cool drinks out of my money given to me from home. I feel sleepy when eating rice. Therefore, I eat bread or buns for my lunch. Right? Bread and buns also contain carbohydrates, but when you eat rice, you always eat it with some other curries. So you get a balanced diet. Just eating a bun or bread is not enough if you are not going to eat your greens and protein parts. Okay, children, I feel very tired after returning because this child does not eat the correct amounts of food. Therefore, he does not have energy. That is why he always feels tired. Right? I eat a little bit of rice as my mother forces me to eat. And some of you all like this. Just because your parents force you, you all eat. Right? I feel sleepy. He always feels sleepy because he does not take enough amounts of food. So he cannot produce energy in the body. Right? That is why he's always tired. Right, children? So I hope when you go through these things, now we know the importance of different nutrients. So when you go through these three descriptions, you all also can understand the nutritional status of these three children. Okay, right. So you can do this as a group activity. Let's go see now. So compare your findings with the following analysis. A. Use more sugar when you eat from outside. We use more sugar, starch and fat, artificial flavors, colorings and preservatives are highly collected in the body, which is very bad for y'all. Right? Results. Can be victims of non-infectious diseases like obesity, diabetes, hypertension means high blood pressure, cancer because of the artificial flavors and colorings. These artificial chemical substances are very bad for your body, right? Paralysis and heart attacks in future. If you do not change this type of food pattern, you will definitely get one or few of these diseases, right? B. So B does not consume high amounts of sugar, starch and fat. He always consumes homemade food, right? So does not consume high amount of sugar, starch and fat. Artificial flavors, colorings and preservatives are not collected in the body. Right? He's very healthy. So results, he's healthy, protects from infectious and non-infectious diseases. Okay, children, he's very healthy. He has a lot of vitamins and minerals. Therefore, his immune system gets stronger. Right? And at the same time, he eats the correct amounts of carbohydrates, proteins and lipids too. Right? Next one. C. Poor immunity due to lack of enough vitamins and minerals in the diet. So, he is the one who does not eat the correct amounts of food. Right? He eats only because his mother forces him to eat. Okay? So, further, poor growth is due to a lack of adequate proteins in the diet. Growth gets disturbed. Okay, so the result is can be easily caused infectious as well as non-infectious diseases. Growth is not up to age. Right, children? So these type of children, when you measure the weight will those children will be always underweight. Right, children? So after going through these descriptions, now you all know how should you eat your food. Right? So sometimes we like once in a while it's okay to eat those tasty other from outside as well, but make sure you don't make it a habit. Right, children? You always have to eat healthy family food. Homemade food is the best. And there are so many ways of preparing homemade food also. There are various ways that you can nicely prepare this homemade food as well. Homemade food is also can be prepared tastily. Right, children? Okay. So, student B has the correct pattern of diet among the above three children because he gets a balanced diet. He gets the necessary amounts of carbs, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, vitamins and minerals. The other two children, they don't get the correct amounts of these nutrients. Right, children? So it is very important to take a balanced diet to lead a healthy life. Right, we'll move on to the next. Right, so what is a balanced diet? A balanced diet means a diet that contains all the necessary nutrients in correct amounts, right? So in the beginning of the lesson, we discussed that some nutrients we need in large amounts, some in smaller amounts. So all the necessary nutrients should be present in correct amounts or correct proportions, right? So the diagram given below illustrates 3 balanced diet prepared for a day, right? Look at this: breakfast, lunch, dinner. So here for breakfast, so you all know in a balanced diet, all 5 nutrients must be included: lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals, right? So here lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals, all. So under lipids, coconut sambal. Under carbohydrates, string hoppers. Under proteins, curry of sprats. And vitamins and minerals, banana for breakfast. For lunch, right, under carbohydrates, rice. Under lipids, tempered onion. Under proteins, soya, curry and dal. Right, under vitamins and minerals, pala, malluma, guava and beets. Right, so for dinner, under carbohydrates, rice and potatoes. Under lipids, tempered water spinach. And then under proteins, fish, bean curry. And vitamins and minerals, pumpkin and banana. Right, so you always have to consider the amounts of nutrients present. And at the same time, always check whether in your food plate all the necessary nutrients are there. So some children, they don't like to eat green leaves. So if you don't eat green leaves, you will not get the enough amounts of vitamins and minerals. Okay, children? Right. We'll move on to the next. So the assignment: prepare a balanced diet for breakfast, lunch and dinner for your family per day. Right. So we will write a menu now. You all can write your own menus here. I will show you how to make menus out of this, right? Okay. This is only an example. You can make your own charts like this, okay? Right. Breakfast, lunch and dinner. So it's very easy when you prepare menus. Just check whether all 5 nutrients are there. Then it's easy, right? So I will here write breakfast, lunch, dinner. Right. So for breakfast, what can we take? We can take a green porridge, right? Which means kolakanda. Okay, green porridge. Green porridge. And then, so green porridge contains a lot of vitamins and minerals. Okay. So as the carbohydrate source, we can take milk rice. Milk rice with green gram. So mung kiribat. Okay. Milk rice with boiled green gram. Boiled green gram. Green gram contains carbohydrates as well as proteins. And here we can prepare a fish curry. Fish curry. Lunu miris is also fine, right? Because it is already mixed with green gram, a protein source. We can simply consider fish lunu miris as well. But fish curry contains lipids as well, okay? So here, then finally we can add a pepper, piece of pepper. Right? So whereas carbohydrates in milk rice, proteins in green grams and fish. Okay? Lipids in fish, lipids also present. Right? Vitamins and minerals given by green porridge and pepper. Right, children? Okay. So lunch we will write. I will write red rice, pumpkin curry, and fried sprats. Then we can green leaf mallow, and as a fruit salad. Right, children? So when you consider this menu, there's carbohydrates given by rice, proteins given by sprats, right? Then fats, because it's fried sprats, it gives you lipids as well, right? Pumpkin has a lot of vitamins and minerals, especially vitamin A is there, right? Green leaf melon also contains a lot of vitamins and minerals. Fruit salad also contains vitamins and minerals. Pumpkin contains carbohydrates as well. Right, children? So dinner, we will write. Let's write string hoppers. Then meat, dal curry, chicken curry or any other meat curry we can write, coconut sambal. And then we can add banana. Right? So here, string hoppers contains carbohydrates. Proteins given by meat and dal both. Dal contains carbohydrates as well. Right? Coconut sambal gives lipids. Okay? And vitamins and minerals, banana. Okay, children? So in this way, always when you eat food, right, when you consider your meal, always check whether all 5 nutrients are there, children. Okay. At the same time, you have to check whether they are in the correct proportions. You have to, now when you consider carbohydrates, you have to take them in large amounts. About half of the food plate should consist of carbohydrates. Right? Quarter of the food plate should consist of proteins. Other quarter should be of vitamins and minerals. So when you consider most of the proteins like fish and meat, they contain a certain amount of lipids too. Right, children? So you always have to check whether whatever you are eating is healthy, children. Okay? Right. We'll move on to the next. So unfavorable conditions, which means harmful conditions due to lack of a balanced diet. Okay, harmful conditions arise due to lack of a balanced diet. If you do not eat right amounts of carbohydrates, what will happen? Your body will not have adequate amounts of energy. Even if you don't eat right amounts of lipids, also the same will happen. Right? What about proteins? Proteins help in growth of your body. Therefore, if you don't eat correct amounts of proteins, your growth will be delayed. Right? Vitamins and minerals keep our body away from different diseases. Right? So if you do not consume right amounts of each vitamins and minerals, again, you will fall sick. Right, children? So what are the unfavorable conditions? The body does not show adequate growth. It affects your growth because of lack of proteins. The body does not show adequate growth or poor growth or show overgrowth. That is also possible. Sometimes we think just eating too little is bad, but eating too much is also bad. When we eat too much of these macronutrients, right, carbohydrates, proteins and lipids, your growth will be increased. You will become too heavy and that is also not good. Right? Your growth will be too much or too little. Both of that instances not good. Okay? So number 2, infectious diseases and non-infectious diseases are easily caused. So if you don't eat right amounts of vitamins and minerals, what will happen? Your immune system will become weak and your body cannot fight diseases. So you will easily get communicable diseases. At the same time, because of overgrowth, like if you consume too much of salty, sugary food, right, fatty food, what will happen? You will get a lot of non-infectious diseases like high blood pressure, heart attacks and all. So you know the difference between infectious and non-infectious diseases. Infectious diseases spread from one person to another person. Non-infectious diseases, they don't spread from person to person. Right? Number 3, become weak and lethargic. So when you don't eat the right amount of energy-giving food, when your body doesn't have enough energy, what will happen? You will always feel tired, weak, right? And you will always feel lazy, lethargic, right? That is because you don't have the right amount of energy to do your day-to-day activities. Right, children? Next one, suffering from deficiency diseases. So what are these deficiency diseases? There are a number of deficiency diseases. Deficiency diseases are caused due to lack of vitamins and minerals, children. Okay? Because of lack of iron, a deficiency disease called anemia is caused. Right? When your hemoglobin level in your blood extremely reduces, it causes anemia. Right? And then when you don't take enough amounts of vitamin A, right, you will get disease called night blindness. In dim light, you cannot see properly. Right? And another one called Bitter spots. So there are a number of deficiency diseases. Deficiency diseases are caused due to lack of vitamins and minerals. Okay, children? Right. So these are the unfavorable conditions due to lack of a balanced diet. Okay, right. Here, bad conditions due to lack of having balanced diet. These are some conditions. Look at this one, rickets due to lack of vitamin D. Look at these child's legs. Right? Because vitamin D must be there to absorb right amounts of calcium to your body. Calcium is important to maintain healthy bones and teeth. Right? So if you don't have vitamin D, it will affect your bones. Right? Pellagra due to lack of vitamin B. Look at these fingers, all these wounds and all in fingers. They don't heal fast too. Right? Scurvy or bleeding gums due to lack of vitamin C. Now you must have found out about this disease because you had to do this activity related to the discovery of vitamin B and C. Okay, so you must have found out about this disease there. Okay, so scurvy or bleeding gums due to lack of vitamin C. Okay, children. So goiter due to lack of iodine. Now earlier I explained y'all, closer to your larynx, a gland called thyroid gland is present, right? So for the functioning of the thyroid gland, you need to take enough amounts of iodine, right? The adequate amounts of iodine must be there. So when you don't have the right amounts of iodine in your body, so your thyroid gland gets enlarged. Therefore, your neck will look like this, right? This condition is known as goiter, right? Bitter spots due to lack of vitamin A. Look at this eye. You all can see these brown color like spots there. These are known as bitter spots. Bitter spots occur because of lack of vitamin A in your food. Right, children? So there are many other diseases that occur that you will get because of lack of right amounts of nutrients in a diet. Okay, children? Right. This is the last assignment of the lesson, children. Prepare a booklet on nutrient deficiency diseases. So you all now know how to find information to make something like this. By reading books, by reading other articles, using the internet, you can get information. Right, children, I will give you all some examples, but you all have to find more examples. And even when you make the booklet, you can use pictures as well. Okay? So prepare a booklet on nutrient deficiency diseases, right? So I will simply include them in a table. This is just to get an idea. You need to find more information. Okay, children? Right. So, here I will write the nutrient. Disease. Right? Due to lack of iron, a disease called anemia occurs. Right? So this is the condition where you have low levels of hemoglobin. When you have anemia, you always feel tired, you become very pale. Okay? That is because of lack of iron in your body. Okay? Another disease is, we will consider that is because of lack of iron. We will consider calcium. Because of lack of calcium, you will get tooth decay, right? And you will get a disease called osteoporosis, where your bones get affected, right? Osteoporosis, tooth decay. Right? And then we discussed about because of lack of iodine, goiter occurs. And then we can consider about vitamin A. Vitamin A. We already discussed about. Here we discussed because of lack of vitamin A, Bitter spots occur. Right? And then because of lack of vitamin A, another disease called night blindness. Night blindness occurs. Right, children? So these type of conditions, these are only some examples. So you can find more and more information. Right, there are a number of deficiency diseases, children, because of lack of different nutrients. Okay, find more information about them. Find pictures. Right, these type of activities will improve your knowledge on nutrition, and at the same time, you will know how to eat a balanced diet too, and you will know the importance of consuming a balanced diet with all the necessary nutrients. Right, children? We have completed the lesson. We will go see what we have learned so far in the summary. Right? So the summary: carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, vitamins and minerals act as main nutrients. Okay, 5 main nutrients are there. Carbohydrates and lipids supply energy for body. Proteins involved in maintaining tissues and development of body, growth of the body and repairing cells and tissues. Right? Vitamin and minerals protect body from diseases because they can strengthen the immune system. Okay? Fiber in food play many functions in the body. We learned about them too. And a diet that contains the essential nutrients and fiber in the correct proportion is called a balanced diet. A balanced diet means a diet that contains all the necessary nutrients in correct amounts. Okay? Main nutrients can be identified by food tests. Okay, so we learn about food tests as well, and finally we learn about the importance of consuming balanced diet too. Right, children? So we have completed the lesson now. Now you all have to do the activity in the next chapter, but before you all watch that part, you have to write the answers to all the questions by yourself, and then you have to watch the video.
To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.